All right, folks, welcome back to another week here on This Week in Search. As we struggle to find things to talk about all summer long, it'll be fun. It's always like that, isn't it, Terry? Summers, it's like no news.
Yeah, no news is good news, though.
It's just,
unless you're in Google News.
Or unless you're Barry Schwartz, and then you just got to,
He'll just make it up. I mean, it's real news. We'll just make it up.
Weather reports. There's a change in the algorithm. Yeah, or there might not be, but there might be, but there might not be, but there might be. I don't know. All right, everyone, let's go around the table here. Kevin, say hello. Tell people who you are, what you're doing these days.
Kevin Dory. I'm the Director of Search at Dealer On Automotive websites, SEO and pay-per-click. And these days I'm dealing with the summer doldrums, trying to have fun with vacation schedules and getting a hold of car dealers, and still fun, trying to find stuff to do. June 1st. May went by like that. Like, holy crap, May was fast.
Yeah. Sorry. That's the same thing Tanya was saying this morning. She's like, it's June already?
When did that
happen?
Like
I was saying before the show, even here, the weather, Terry, right? We went from winter to summer. Like, there was no spring. It just
went from, almost 0 to 30 in one day.
Yeah, I know, but Plunkett and I, it's going to be 97 today at 7 p.m. So, like, I forgot that I moved to hell. Like, I like Dallas, but this is like the surface of the sun. Great.
Mr. Doc.
Yeah, Doc Sheldon, Intrinsic Value SEO and Search News Central. And I've just been scratching and scrambling like everybody else, trying to keep my head above water. Get a lot of work going on here lately, so that's a good thing. And hopefully some of the people will actually pay.
Yeah, it's always a bonus. Mr. Plunkett, sir, good to see you. Say hello to the fine people.
Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon. Yeah, I guess it's lunchtime. Yeah. Dude, I'm going to go get some barbecue here in a minute. Thank God I'm in Texas. Yes. My name is Steve Plunkett. I am, hang on.
Checking to see who he is.
Mom's good at living or everything, okay? I'll call you back. I love you. Bye.
Sorry to interrupt you there.
Sorry, it's my mom. Mom
always gets precedence. Moms always get precedence.
That's what it is. Okay, sorry, everybody. Steve Plunkett. I am a search scientist working for several confidential clients doing really cool stuff and changing Google. I'm working a lot with Google My Business. I just made a bunch of break things happen in YouTube and Google Play and stuff, just watching, pushing envelopes for clients and watching Google respond the right way, and everybody wins.
Excellent. Mr. Van Horn, sir.
Let me see. This week I looked at a bunch of reports and SEMrush, getting more familiar with it since I was talked into getting an account finally. It took me a while to see the value there, but starting to see it somewhat. Yeah.
It's like a lot of tools, I think, you know what I mean? A lot of the stuff's buried, and you got to kind of dig around and play around to find things that work for you. So.
Yeah, and I'm always looking for, like, where can I save myself 10 or 15 minutes and put together reports and stuff. And it was good for that because most of my reports come out of analytics. The stuff that I found the social tool to be very good as far as the metrics that they got. Analytically, like, it don't get two of the top things that I look at as an SEO, and that's top landing page, top exit pages. And they don't have a way to get those reports. And to me, those are, for an SEOer, those are, tells you any trouble spots and tells you where you're doing well. So I can't figure out why that isn't part of their.
Well, hey, we got a pair of the SEMrush folks, including the owner, I guess, in our dojo groups. We'll have to bring them on sometime on the Search Geek Speak, maybe.
Yeah.
Get around with that.
Let Terry slap them around.
Yep. That's how we roll.
As we usually do. if me and Dave told you all the tools where we've given the owners input and they put it into play, you'd be surprised.
Yeah, long list.
Yeah, for
All
sure.
well known too these days.
Yeah.
Mr. Tim, say hello.
Hi, Tim Calling, a Servant's Heart web design and marketing, longtime SEMrush user, and I use it mostly for competitive research, I guess. Last week, I've actually been on a big crush project to convert all my clients that I do review management or review mongering for, converted over from the vendor I used to use to a one that I'm switching to called Get 5 Stars. So that's been quite a project, and that's it, pretty much.
All right, well,
I have a question for Tim, since he actually has bought and used those services.
Yeah.
You must have clients where they had no reviews and then you started adding the reviews.
Both, in both cases,
Okay.
but
I'm interested to know how much the reviews moved the rankings. You
it's
saw
not
anything.
So I don't know that you can measure that with precision because there's so many other things that go on, so many
Right.
other things that change all the time. What I can tell you though is that it's not just ranking where it makes a difference, in theory, but also it's the social proof that it offers that gets people to choose you when they see you in the listings. So you get a SERP, and there's 4 companies listed, and 1 or 2 of them have all those pretty review stars. The searcher is psychologically drawn to choosing those to go to. So that's almost of equal value in a way. I mean, ranking is obviously important, but that's important too. And it's not just the number of stars, but also the number of reviews.
So you're looking to get reviews on specific products.
Well, specific vendors. Remember, most of my clients are companies.
Here's the thing, though. The only way you can get the stars on products is if you have reviews for those products.
Yeah, and so I don't have any. I only have 1 client that we're doing any kind of e-commerce for, and those are actually training classes. And we're just starting. We just built the site. We aren't even talking about SEO yet. So the answer is it's not. It hasn't been an issue for me yet, but I can see where it would be, of course.
Yeah, just so people know too. I received the penalty for putting the site reviews on every page on the website. They don't.
Yeah, they'll slap you for that.
We've had clients do that, and that's the first thing they turn off.
I penalized for that. The only reason I did it is because it's not clear where that scheme is to be implemented. They should be a lot more clear in where it should go.
Yeah. One of the things I like about the tool that I just switched to is that you can tag the customers with, well, any tag you want. So when you reach out to them, you can tag it if you want to with the product they bought, things like that. And then you can have reviews with proper schema that are listed on that product page or that service page that are, that pertain to that one service, or that one product. Again, I don't separate out the services, but that's how I would probably approach a product review listing question. So
yeah, we've used them. We've used that company, Tim, for a couple of years now. So yeah. I can stand by, like, from their also their review monitoring, and they're one of the few that gives you the monitoring capability for Google posts and Google questions and answers. You can set that up. So from a scale standpoint, we needed that. To Terry, to your point, like I've seen reviews impact results, but just as Tim said, not necessarily SERPs. Like the rankings haven't gone up, but most of the time with ours, it's brand mentioned. So we've seen an increase in clicks from the map pack, because if you've got reviews versus your competitor in your your metro area, they're more than likely going to click on you at least first. So, but those rankings are difficult to measure because as the pack changes, the pack changes. But so we've seen a lot of success with dealers that have no reviews, like they have no Google reviews at all, or one, and then an increase using that tool and getting more reviews has definitely increased their visibility and how often that they are clicked on within their competitors.
That's how I measure things, really, too, Kevin, is I look at visibility. Actual rankings, I don't put a lot of stock in them. Yep. I know I'm doing my job when I see the visibility rise, and that's what I look at. The other stuff is for amateurs, if you ask me.
More and more, when I talk to new prospective clients, I tell them, that there's really two things that we're trying to accomplish in the big picture. One is getting Google to like you and to rank you, and then we're also looking for customers, prospective customers, to choose you. And so we do everything to make you attractive in the listings, including all those review stars.
So what you're saying is Alexa rating and Cloud Score aren't going to help.
Well, not in this decade.
Couldn't resist.
Yeah.
Wow, I was expecting Steve to jump in there somewhere. Wow.
Well, I mean, scale.
There we go. Jesus Christ, man. I'm starting to worry about you. I was getting concerned.
He's thinking about that barbecue. Yeah.
He's the barbecue.
Hey, I'm thinking about hey, here we go. Barbecue. Soul Man. I'm fixing
I'm hungry for lunch already, and it's only 10 a.m.
Wifey brought me mochi, so it happens. Anyways, the point being on the reviews and stuff, it's going to depend. Do you have over 5 reviews? How quick do you respond to reviews? At this point, the whole system got washed because, like, I have some clients going back to 2007, I think, is when the whole process starts. And so there's people that left reviews that were anonymous in 2007, and you can't remove a review. You can flag it, but you have to do the process. Now there's a lot of people that are using local guides just to spam reviews. And so now you got to flag the local guide, but you got to look back at the local guide, and all of a sudden, oh, it's a local guide, level 4, never posted any pictures, never answered any questions, and has 1 review. What's going on with that?
Exactly.
And so now there's a whole issue with local guides in that kind of stuff because local guides can influence. But how accurate is your information? How complete is your profile in Google My Business filled out? Have you claimed that business? Is it a verified business? Is it a verified listing? Do you update more than 3 to 4 photos a week? Have you used the optional Google web page? If you use the optional Google web page, that's 2 spots in a map pack sometimes. Depends on the client, in the niche. Sometimes if it's your like automotive, you're going to have a carousel that shows up different than any other industry. Right, Kevin?
Yep.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about. So it's not so much that I want a luxury SUV in 75525 zip code. It's the fact that I put in that, and now I see a carousel of which luxury SUV. You know what I mean? And it's, go back 5 years ago, and there was only 2 luxury SUVs, which was a Navigator and something else, a Range Rover, right? Nothing else was that big kind of class of a luxury SUV. Now, the schema for that, on reviews, there were like, did Review Monster finally get killed? Yeah, I guess it did.
Yeah, that died 6 months ago.
Okay. So what happened was you would go in and say you had, I don't know, let's say you had 800 locations. And there were reviews for each one of these locations. Where were you pulling them from? 9 times out of 10, it ended up being, remember the city guides? Or the city guides, the city directory spam, right? That was where where the review process was. It wasn't going to be Google. There's no API for Google reviews yet other than Google Maps. And I say that, Terry, are you picking that up? Remember the old Maps program when we used to be able to write maps?
Yeah.
Go back in there. go back and go log in as that person again with your Google My Business bulk uploads. Okay. Now, also you see on Google My Business, for those people that have more than 10 locations, you now have global insights where you can see how many times people click to call, how many times you're showed up in the map pack, how many times someone clicked for directions, how many times people click through to your website, right?
Everybody gets that, Steve.
Yeah, it's not just more than 10 sites.
You can download that from the insights on the spreadsheet.
They did, right, exactly what I'm talking about. You didn't used to be able to download it in bulk. You used to have to do onesies and twosies. So now they've made a lot of changes in Google My Business.
Okay.
Oh, he froze.
Yeah, we dropped him.
Okay.
They also, I put the thing in chat that, what was it, like 2 or 3 days ago, Google, there was a report that they're removing the anonymous reviews.
Right.
From,
did the review that you responded to, did they like your response?
just keeps going.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
I didn't realize that they look at how long you take to respond. I have some clients that are a little on the slow side.
Most of them are.
I actually benefited from the cleanup they did recently. I had for my old home care website, which still is up because I can refer to other companies with it. I had one negative out of all those years. Some guy called drunk at 3 a.m. from Virginia wanting to work as a caregiver, and I was brusque with him, and he left me a 1-star. Well, that went away as a result of this.
Yeah, we're auditing right now because, I mean, we have 200, 250 clients, getting them to audit their, our consultants to audit their reviews to try to see if we notice any significant ranking drop or change based on the anonymous reviews coming out. Because car dealers, some of them had quite a few anonymous when they were spamming crap out of them.
Yeah, really?
But I think that most of the stuff that we've been able to do with Get 5 Stars and with a couple other non-program specific initiatives, I think we've generated enough real reviews to discount the crap anonymous ones.
Yeah, we had a client who changed them 4 times, looking to get a cheaper price every time.
Right. I'll give you a great review if I can get a $5 grand off of that.
Partners with Get Your Business Online. Has anyone ever seen Get Your Business Online? They like basically send you all this free stuff to host workshops, and it's an easy in to like recruit new clients. Has anyone ever been there before?
Who is it?
GYBO.com. No? Okay,
No.
so it's like a Google spinoff, but they'll send you free Google swag and all kinds of stuff, and you can host your own workshop, and people think you're Google, like, because of all the stuff you're giving them, but you help them get their business online because they don't have a claimed listing or whatnot. And you'll get lots of small businesses, but once in a while you'll get someone that's older and bigger and just is outdated in terms of tech. And what was I going to say? Yeah, so I've written GYBO many times telling them they need to fix the review and the rating system on maps because it's so spammy. It's just, there's all kinds of people that'll put stuff out there that have never ever dealt with the business before. So I told them the rating system is like pointless. Just get rid of the stars and just have reviews, and make sure an owner can remove a review if it's from someone that they have no idea who the person is. Like, there's no reason not to.
They're listed as a Grow with Google platform.
Yeah, so they used to be part of Google, and then Google does this. They'll like spin off little people and subsidiaries, and so basically this company partners with Chamber of Commerce to help and get more people to claim their listings on maps, claiming that it'll help boost your SEO. But really what you're doing is you're feeding into their giant database of, you know, their giant query database under maps. Like, they don't really care about anything except data, right? So yeah, they'll like take anyone. So you can fill out their little form and say, I want to be a partner. And then they'll let you be a partner. And then they'll send you a box of like little backpacks and notepads and all this stuff that says Google. And you can run these workshops and host these events with their PowerPoints that they put together. and people think you're Google. Like they'll come and they'll show up and you help them claim their business and their listing on Maps, and then you can weed out which ones you actually want to do some further business with, or which ones really can't afford your services. So
yeah, that's just got so much potential for abuse.
well, you should see all the people that partner with them. Like you can see all the
That's how they can put their Google partners.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the biggest scam running. They shouldn't allow you to put that on your website.
It's called DYDO.
GY. Here, I'll put it in the text chat.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, get your business online. They do put together these huge PowerPoints, and they're all centered around SEO. There's like, I don't know, maybe 10 of them. Maybe I can upload one here in the chat.
Oh, okay.
And you can compile that. Like, so I compiled it and condensed it because they'll tell you stuff, but they're part of Google. So they tell you only what Google wants you to know to feed Google, right? Like they don't tell you everything that you really need to do. So it's kind of funny. Like, so basically I took all their PowerPoints and tore them apart and put in other helpful stuff that people didn't really, people should pay attention to, and not just paying attention to what Google tells you to do to rank. So
that's 90% of SEOs.
Yeah, right. Here, I'll share my little PowerPoint. Anyways.
That's what do you think, Dave? We can move on?
Yeah, we're talking local. We got Dave to be quiet for half an hour. I don't know. Maybe he's turned us off completely.
Oh, he's put
dropped out.
Got a stand in.
Or he just looks like me by Friday afternoon.
Well, you made a comment that Canada's hot now, and I was like, oh,
there, he's back.
Yeah, I don't know. It's my computer's lagging and fucking locking up.
Kevin, if we get the ones in Dallas, we'll be teaching the Google people.
Yeah, no, I was meant we could go and heckle them. We could pull a Terry.
No, that's bad. That's
so
karma.
Like we were saying, what? Like, wait, huh?
Well, just remember, when you go to heckle them, wear one of your competitors' T-shirts.
Yep.
Yeah.
You see me with the Authority Lab shirts. I don't work for them, but hey.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. We done with local?
Yes.
I'm awake. All right, I'm awake. I'm here.
20 minutes is more than enough.
Okay.
I agree, Terry.
Tell us how you really feel.
Oh, did I lose that?
Yeah, no, that's not fun to go to one of those things. Those people are trying to make a living.
It's free alcohol. We go for the free alcohol.
Yeah, but I don't drink anymore, dude.
And me neither. So
I don't drink anymore either.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I'm a responsible adult now.
What?
Doc, I'm a big fan. Doc, I'm a big fan of Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny as well. By the way.
No, I don't drink anymore. No. Not any less, but.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
No, I'm a good human now. Yeah. So anyway. So crawl budget really? Is that people worry about crawl budget?
No.
Well, no, that's actually just a bit of humor because it's your classic search engine roundtable stuff. All right, so the story goes.
Lost him again.
Oh man,
everybody's bandwidth sucks today.
Come on, Canada, get your internet. Is it everybody's bandwidth?
I don't know. I just
country, so you know.
When Doc told me that you could adjust the bandwidth usage in the Google Hangout, that was the best thing in the world.
Oh yeah,
it's made things so much better.
I wish it was that easy to tweak
John
Zoom.
There he is.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, my computer just keeps locking up. It's probably that last time I rebooted the damn thing, hard reboot. Remember?
You had to send it away. You don't do that.
I should put it in the freezer for an hour.
Yeah.
It's Canada. They're already in the freezer.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
That's good. Put it in the freezer.
That's what they used to do at IBM. They'd make us put the hard drives in the freezer. They literally, that was like one of the steps.
Was that before they started saying, "Did you try turning it off and back on?"
Then it was like sending away to some company for $10,000 to scrape the data plates. But seriously, it was put it in the freezer.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Yes, you must have your phone line connected to your computer so you can get on the internet. Otherwise, the modem really won't go anywhere, ma'am.
Have any of you ever really worked in tech support?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
amazing.
I've managed people in tech support, like a bunch of them. Okay. Yes. That sounds like, go ahead and tell them it's an ID 10T error.
Yes, that's my favorite one. Write it on the board. What? Just write it on the board. It's an ID 10T error. Oh, okay.
It doesn't exist between user and keyboard. PBUK.
If you want to see a bunch of engineers do face palms all day long, at Borland, whenever we did a release, we all had to go down and sit in tech support afterwards and listen to the calls, and we'd all be going, "Oh no!"
I did 6 years of tech support, executive tech support at IBM, and had all the chiefs of the company coming in, and they'd come in like their wife ran over their laptop, and I just look at them like, really? I'm not going to fix this. And then one morning, the general manager, I kid you not, of this plant in Poughkeepsie, like didn't come into work, and they brought his laptop over to my desk, and they said, we need you to pull every single email from the last 30 days off the server and scrape it. He had been emailing trade secrets to HP and skipped town.
Oh, naughty.
Yeah, that's bad form.
Yeah.
Anybody else seen the report I just put in their study that I just put in the window there?
Let's see what it says.
No.
I'll try and help Dave out a little here.
Yeah, it seems to be getting steadier here.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Dave. I didn't.
Oh no, go nuts, man. I don't care.
This says it's from 2014.
I'll just grab that. Oh no, there was an error. Okay, oh, look at this.
So that's a report from 2014, Terry?
I don't know that. Just
Yeah. That's what it says.
I got it from somewhere else.
I always tell clients to focus on making good content instead of running AdWords. I don't know. I just don't trust, like they claim 50% of the clicks come from the first 3 and the 3-pack in the top, but I don't believe it. I think Google just wants to make money.
What is the point of the article, Terry? It's too long.
It was it was just information on click-throughs. I didn't realize it was from 2014. Someone passed it to me and didn't.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's not still slightly relevant.
Yeah, I kind of thought it was. And what I thought was interesting was where they were looking at where there's listings above, advertisements above the listings. I totally agree with everything in that study as far as the way that affects the click-through rate on the first organic listing.
What is their conclusion that you agree with about that?
Well, there's a lot of people clicking the ads thinking that it's an organic result.
Wow, even though it says ad.
When those ads are there, the click-through goes.
They don't even see the ad.
Yeah. And the other thing that I thought was really blew me away was that there's such a high percentage on the first listing, and then you look at the next 5 down, and it like drops again, huge factor, down to like 5 or 6%. So it's like if you aren't above the fold, you aren't ranking really. You're
not there.
you're not there.
The only thing about the fold these days is ads.
Pretty much.
Yeah, but that's the thing, and that's my point. I don't believe users really can see an ad. They don't realize they're clicking on stuff that's ads.
Right. And I think they've been trying to do that forever. That's why it used to be really big that this was an ad, and now it's really tiny that you like. They click on the first result that gives them their answer. If it's an ad, they don't care. If it's a map listing, they don't care. If it's a regular listing.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
I also think people have decided that there's no difference between a listing that paid for and one that's not paid for as far as quality and what you get there. To me, you really notice the difference when those, especially if there's like 4 ads above. That basically pushes. If there's 4 ads and a local pack, everything organic is below the fold. And I would hate to think someone on a, resolution of 1,000. I'm at 1,400, and it's still pretty far down.
Hey Terry, based on your logic, and I'm agreeing with you, what do you think the possibility is that those top 4 ads, one of them is going to be a load an app instead of screw the search results, just click on the app link? You know what I mean? At what point is it more beneficial for a company to pay you $2.30 or pay $2.30 to get you to download their app instead of running an ad in that same space? You know what I mean?
App?
An app, yeah, like a button.
I have never seen one, so I don't know.
I haven't either, but I think the next step is to think about it on a mobile device when we're down.
I can see that on a mobile where an app would be a good solution, but I don't see it for desktop. And to me, what really struck me was the difference between the click-through rate on the first one and even the third and fourth. It's a huge drop, which means, I used to think if I'm in the top 10, I can slow down. But now I think your goal should always, not rest until you've reached number 1, especially on the top terms.
And then you still can't rest because if you're talking about a map pack, you got to add photos to your listing once a week to keep yourself there. 9 times out of 10. Oh,
no, we haven't added photos. It could be, again, I don't work in the kind of places that you do, Steve.
Right.
So, we're talking of industry where there's not a lot of inventory and there's not a lot of queries that are getting a lot of, my top keyword probably has 5,000 queries a month.
Yeah. I'm doing tons of, I've got a guy that gets, 10,000 searches a month for, oh wait, here it is. 8.5K searches a month that are completely, totally unbranded.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm killing his category. And then I got another person that gets 100,000 searches a day for one of their 100 locations across a 3-state area. So it's a whole different level of how that clicks in. But I totally understand what you're saying.
I manage one of the GE Google My Business listings, and they get 15,000 hits a week, and they don't want anything. They don't want their website. They don't want their phone number. They're like, take it all off. So
I get a note of one of my 100 locations. Someone gets on there and sends a complaint at 3 o'clock in the morning. I get a ping on my phone, and I have the opportunity to respond to it if I want. So I think that's kind of the other part of SEO is at some point you've got Google Webmaster stuff and Google My Business Manager for a client on your phone, but the weird thing about that is now I now have to respond to all the clients' questions and comments and reviews.
yeah, I would outsource that shit on Fiverr so fast.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden that check doesn't show up in your mailbox on the 1st every month, and you kind of go, ah!
There's lots of people in the Philippines that speak great English.
Is that really a big outsourcing? Bigger than India? If people are smart, they would go there.
Oh yeah, we use the Philippines for all of our spam calling. Like, and it's cheap. Like less than $1,000 a month for 50 people. So.
Yeah.
Well, it's a much better time zone if you have to talk to them too.
Right, exactly. The time zone difference is easier. But yeah, it's just, and they're happy to make US dollars.
Yeah, the other thing is their language, they speak American English, not Indian English, and there is a difference. Phraseology, I look at a Indian content, someone who's written from India, I can always tell this guy's from India because of the way they phrase things, especially at Christmas, because I've never heard anyone say, I gifted you. And yeah,
well, an attorney would say that, or a tax lawyer or somebody.
He didn't sign his email signature wasn't Eric Johnson, and then you go to look up the company and it's based out of Mumbai. I'm sure.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Larry. Yeah, sure, it's Rajiv.
Sure, his name.
I will say, I get development work done by a firm in India now, and it's very good. But I would never have them write content for me. I've got my content team is all American writers, for a very good reason. It's, you know, that's the.
Just wait till it breaks.
What's that?
Just wait till it breaks.
Well, fair enough.
What they'll tell you, it's your fault because you didn't give them the right specs.
Yeah, that's not always the case though, Terry. I mean,
no. We've got people we've worked with. Literally, we got people over there that we've used for like 5-6 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you're saying, Terry. It can be dicey, but once you find a good team or a good couple of people, then you're good. Yeah. But it's a lot of trial and error of having them fuck up to get there.
Those errors that are painful.
That's what I mean.
Well, yeah, that's how we got there. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, fuck, this person screwed us. We had to go and pay someone else to fix it. Then this person screwed. We had to pay someone. Finally, I guess over the years, we finally found a good couple of people, and you know, we've been okay.
You kiss a lot of frogs to find your prince, yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. My experience has been very bad to where, you know, this company was using Excel files and didn't really realize that when you open an Excel file, it locks it. So it's no good for the web. Anyhow, moving on.
How did we get off on this stuff? We were talking about, answering, responding to Google.
Jesus, Tim, you've been coming to these things for over a year, and you're wondering how we wandered off somewhere.
Oh, well,
really, bro? Come on.
Well, I was trying to think, what was the original point? That's all.
We haven't even started on.
We've been asking that question for 6 months. Tim.
Yeah. Okay, I'll say it. GDPR. There.
Right.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Where's local now? This. Okay, I'll see you guys.
Embrace the GDPR.
That's where you need.
You guys are late on GDPR.
Fuck! Don't worry, Steve. We spent a whole fucking day on it last. The whole fucking show on it last week.
Do I need to put up a sign that says joke?
I like saying it just to watch Terry shake his head.
Poke the bear.
Yes, in other news, apparently Google PageRank is still a thing. Who knew?
Yeah, what a
I was stunned by
revelation that, eh?
Yeah, imagine that.
Well, they don't use it anymore. There's no PageRank on in the browser. So
Yeah, the bar's not there. So the bar's not there. So obviously they've stopped using the algorithm. You know,
they're not using it. The bar's not on the browser.
Toolbar PageRank.
I saw one the other day on a supposedly reputable trade mag that was talking about the fact that they stopped using it just before the patent expired. Jesus Christ. Some of these people should not be allowed online.
Most of them should not be allowed online. But then we would have nothing to talk about.
Well, they should be able to go online, but they should take their keyboard away from them.
Well, that's when you try to navigate using Alexa then, right?
Yeah.
Or Siri or whatever.
Oh, shit, this is what we did last week, and my phone wouldn't stop chiming in. My search history has changed.
Actually, you know, I read an interesting blurb someplace today, and that came in my email, predicting that residences would soon have no traditional PCs or laptops anymore. Not businesses. And it was talking about the future of Windows, actually. And that's kind of interesting, if that were true.
Windows 10 is Xbox OS.
Yeah.
Your refrigerator will have a computer before your desktop will have a screen.
Well, I think they're also looking at making it totally portable. In other words, wherever you are, if you've got their piece of device, you'll be able to just anywhere on a wall, anywhere you want to do it, you can do it.
Right. Everything's a peripheral. Like
Right.
you just plug your phone into, you'll have little docks everywhere. You put your phone on the counter and suddenly your computer is on that. Yep.
But that screen size that we now have on desktops and laptops plays a real role in terms of you're thinking about presenting websites, presenting search results, and things like that. So it's something to think about. You know,
Cards,
5 years,
black design, cards.
yeah.
Right.
Someplace I saw an overhead the other day that looked like it had been made with cards based on, you know, Google Glass, you know, kind of a UI. I thought, wow, I haven't seen that for a while, but I wonder if we're going to see that again someday.
Well, there's an awful lot of work being done now too to tie phones into internet. You know, the Internet of Things devices. IoT devices now, where you can, like you say, dock your phone, and you're tied into everything in the house. And if you want to go to your bathroom mirror to pull up the monitor, there it is.
Yeah, as long as there's not a camera in the bathroom, then I'm
that's good luck with that.
Take your phone into the bathroom. If you took your phone into the bathroom,
Tim, I could put one in my bathroom if you'd like. You know, you just gotta ask, buddy.
This is why I never take my phone in the bathroom.
I would have said this conversation really went to shit, but I feel like that's
Hotel Russia, where
too easy. We're making it too easy for you, Kev.
Sorry, it's there.
Amazon's already building 3D e-commerce. If you go to Amazon Sumerian, and they gave our company access, and it's for developers, and you can go in there, and they already have, like, it's like The Sims, little people that walk around and talk, and you can give them whatever automated script you want, and then you'd start building. You can import your OBJ file from a scan, or you just start building your storefront right there. I mean, it's going to be 3D Amazon soon. So
what is this?
Amazon Sumerian.
Amazon Sumerian?
Yeah.
Spell that, would you, for the folks?
Yeah.
S-U-M-A.
What was that called, Dave, where they had something similar with The Sims and whatnot online for a while?
Second Life.
Second Life.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was similar, correct?
Second Life is still alive and going strong.
Really?
Yeah. I know someone who's been on there for a long time.
Well, didn't you see the cover of The Economist this week was that VC Rockstar, the Japanese guy, and it talked about his multi-billion-dollar investment fund, and he's already envisioning the singularity where people do nothing but interact and live and earn money, and it's all online. Like, nobody pays any attention to their existing bodies anymore.
You talking about Kaku or whatever his name?
I know a couple of teenagers
I'll
like
pull up
that.
the article.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It was the cover of The Economist this week, and when I read it, I was like, this guy is nuts, and he's going to succeed. Like, I know it.
There have been sci-fi movies like that.
Can we upload a bunch of them to start? Like there's a list of people we would much rather see. I could deal without not dealing with them in person.
Well,
you
the
know,
good news is you
that
never
they're
have to
going
go to the gym
by the
anymore.
level of craziness they are. Like, that's the problem.
Well, I think really, you know, isn't any sort of multiplayer video game already doing that? You're creating an avatar, then you're customizing it, you're running around talking to people. Really, that kind of thing does exist.
Well, SimCity was not the first such escapism. You know, I mean, gamers have been doing that for years. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. The only problem is all those the high-end computers you need to play some of these video games nowadays are all being eaten up by Bitcoin. So the day
Well,
that
it's the GPUs that are, but that's all been crashing back to earth lately. So the
yeah,
price
so as
the
soon as
price of
that
the
all crashes
GPUs
back
should
to
start
Earth,
to
we can
level out
afford
again.
to buy our computers again.
That's the same. I wanted to update one of my boxes here in the house, and it's just forget it. I'm gonna wait till this comes back down again a bit.
Right, exactly.
Because the price of GPUs went out, doubled in the last year.
That's
Literally.
crazy. That's crazy.
So, anyways, Terry, I was trying to before my computer. For those who don't know, if your computer ever starts lagging and stuff like that, and you can't get anywhere, do not hard reset it. I learned that last fall. Turns out it was a window update running in the background, and when I hard reset it, it screwed the update, and my whole hard drive went to crap. So, yeah, just suffer through it. Yeah. Anyway, so Terry, before I was so rudely beaten up by Windows there, I wanted to show you something that you would find so exciting. All right.
Ooh, freaky.
Okay, hold on. All right, we good now?
Oh, that's cool.
Got enough windows open, Dave.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so that's the Search Engine Roundtable. It says, you know, this quote from John Mueller that crawl budgets is over optimized, isn't useful. So, you know, John Mueller says, well, it's overrated. Most sites don't need to worry about it. His second tweet, he goes on to say, lots of good practices, things you should be spending your time on. Don't worry about it. And next part, he goes on to, if you know, moving 25 useless pages is great for a leaner site, blah, blah, blah. And his next one, he goes, sure, okay, fine. If you've got a super huge site, you know, that maybe it could be something. And then my favorite part, Terry, the last tweet. Well, he says, well, ultimately, y'all are the experienced experts. You know, if you think it works, go for it. If it doesn't, so he literally goes on with a bunch of advice and then turns around and goes, well, whatever. You guys are the experts. Do whatever you think.
Called covering the bases, eh?
Yeah, you know, it's just that classic stuff that I just love so much. Like, where's Matt? I'm so pissed at him. Yeah, come back. I'm like, what is this stuff?
Again, he's probably kind of true in what he said in that.
Yeah, you know, I don't think crawl budget becomes an issue until you're up to millions and millions of pages, really. You know what I mean? Like he's saying on average they can crawl 50,000 pages on your site a day. So
yeah, I don't think it's been a long time since I worked on a site where that was a concern.
Yeah.
I did an audit here a couple of months ago on a site that had like 97,000 pages. And there was about 1,200 pages that had been up for over a year that weren't showing up in the index. Okay.
Now, what was that?
Is that crawl budget? I'd say that's a poorly designed.
I think that could be thin content, bad architecture. I could think of a million.
The architecture was the biggest problem. He was four levels deep. Yeah. But you know, they weren't all that deep though. I mean, there were actually some in the second level that had not yet been indexed. You know, the quality of the content was pretty crappy. The navigation was, he had a lot of dangling nodes, you know, just a lot of issues. But I do think that even at that level, you know, 50,000 or more pages, it deserves to be considered. You know, at least look at, are you doing anything that would be destructive of your crawl budget? And I think an awful lot of sites are.
Well, and again, you know, I mean, you get into larger sites, you know, I mean, I'm dealing with one with 20 million pages and right now, and are all these pages required? Like, again, you even have server load considerations to get to that size. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah,
like,
is there any benefit?
Have you roboted out and HD accessed and everything else out pages and things that you really don't even need in there? Like, it could be the opposite on the crawl budget issue. Are you having them crawling a bunch of crap you don't want in there? That you don't even need crawl.
If there's no value in having it there, why worry about it?
Yeah. The thing that I look at beyond crawl rate is I want to look at the ratio of index pages to pages submitted.
Mm-hmm.
I've got most of my sites, I can get it to less than 10% not being indexed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if that's at 40%, then that should be telling you something. Yeah.
Yeah. That's more important. Crawl rate is dependent on so many things that you know.
I think what I got from him was that he said that it doesn't matter unless it does matter. And I think that that's a good way. No, but I think that's a good way of looking at it, is that too often people think it's that when you're doing an audit or when you're looking into a problem, you don't prioritize where you should go. And he was saying that, like, for most people, crawl budget doesn't matter. But if you're digging into a problem, and when you start going down those rabbit holes and go, well, maybe I don't know what to do. Maybe I'll look at crawl budget. Maybe I'll go over there. It's just that people take home that, well, he said crawl budget doesn't matter. He said, no, for most of you, if you have 6,000 pages, crawl budget doesn't matter. But if you're ESPN and you have 5 billion pages, then crawl budget does matter if you can't find certain things. Like, I think it's the best example of it depends, with a caveat of,
yeah, okay, see, but so therein lies the rub, my friend. Next time, why don't you write that fucking article, because it doesn't say any of that in it.
Okay,
this
calm
is
down.
what kills me.
I'll write the article.
I love Barry Schwartz. You know, he's a friend and everything. But just,
If
I
he's
get
not
into
the one
articles
that
like
you
this where it's like,
attention,
you know,
nobody
just,
would read it.
you know, like that's what I mean, Kevin. Is I want to see it reported that way. You know what I mean? I want to see it discussed that, you know, it's situational, and as with all things, and explain which situations apply to each. Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
Do you know how much of my life will be spent bitching about SEO articles? Do you realize I've already done this before, and everybody thought I was an arse? So
well, you are an arse.
You are.
Totally.
Yeah, well, I'm already an arse, dude. I've been an arse since 2006, so, you know.
At some point, there's too many SEO articles out there that are just clueless, mindless piles of dribble.
Yep.
So I think, at what point do we stop? You know, and just say, all right, well, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Move on.
Well, you know, but I think for me, you know, I mean, I'm still active in various groups and things like that. That you know, newer SEOs, younger SEOs, whatever. I think that's where I draw the issue with it, is that it's not educational, or in many cases, like you're saying, confusing or completely just misleading. You know, that's where the frustration comes in. I know, like, everyone here can sit and read something, you know, be able to disseminate it properly, but it's all the newer folks that are in the game that it starts, because every one of them has a customer, and if they're not servicing that customer well, it rolls downhill onto all of us as an industry, you know. So.
Mm-hmm.
On the crawl budget, though, I think Terry hit it on the head. It's that ratio. You know, if you're submitting 2,600 URLs and they've only crawled 1,100 of them, you have some problems to look at.
Yeah,
That's going to tell you a lot more than which pages are in there. Sometimes that too can tell you things, but yeah, when you get up into 20 million pages, then you definitely need to be looking at budget.
Right, but I guess even in smaller cases, if you see a spike in it, you know, it could be a warning sign of other things. You know what I mean? Okay, what's going on here? Do we have some nodes dangling? Do we have some infinite loops because of an htaccess problem? You know what I mean? Like, you know, I start to see issues like that. I go running off to the error reports and things of that nature, like to see, okay, why did that crawl all of a sudden data start going up in a big spike? You know, we didn't add any pages, and you know, the sitemap's been 90% indexed all along. So if that crawl all of a sudden spikes, there could be something else going on.
Well, you know, all of us that do audits too. I mean, one of the first things you look at, if you know the site's got 6,500 pages, and Google is telling you they've got 400,000 indexed, then you know that's the first thing you're going to look at, because you know you've got a bunch of search queries, or you know, but that requires thinking. You know, so. That's why so many don't do it.
So many people don't even have their site indexed. It's like clueless, walking around clueless.
The other thing that I got more.
We're dragging Aubrey down with us. Thank you for joining us today.
No, I get frustrated.
You see her face. Like, first got here today, she was all smiles. Now look at her. She's like, she's playing.
We have that effect.
I'm waiting for the eye twitch. You know?
Everybody walks out with a numerous tick, you know.
Yeah.
So how many? I also look at the site syntax for a site as another parameter that I'd rather look at than crawl rate. That tells you a lot too, because I'll see, you know, they're indexing a large amount, but when you do an actual site, that tells you how much is going into the, what did we used to call it?
Supplemental.
Supplemental.
And we're old here, people.
That's the SEO kill zone. You've been shot in the head when it's not there.
All right, when it goes to the sandbox, when it's sitting in the supplemental index.
Yeah, I find that more interesting than crawl rate and that other ratio I mentioned, because that actually is the number of pages, or excuse me, opportunities that you have to rank. So if I've got a whole bunch of pages and only 10% of them have an opportunity to rank, I need to expand some. I need to change something.
There's a lot of sites in that boat.
Yeah, if I'm merging sites or if I'm switching locations, that's when I pay more attention to crawl budget. Like if I move shit around, we're taking stuff from another company, that's when it matters more to me. What were you doing to block the indexing before? But again, it's always just I usually only get into crawl budget when we're talking about a problem. It's never brought up to the client for any reason other than how to fix an existing issue.
Right. What I wish you could do is segment that. And they tell you in this directory, you're getting this much of a rate. And on this one, that tells you where your problem spots are.
That would be nice. Yeah.
You one large rate doesn't really tell you anything that's usable. It's giving you something, but it's not giving you actionable data. It's giving you scratch the head and wonder what the is going on.
Yeah, or worst case scenario, it tells you that something might be wrong, but you can't dive any further deeper into it to be like, oh, great, thank you. I know that this is the problem, and now I can't do anything with that. Thanks, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm managing all these sites that are, they're all these like Matterport camera owner sites at this point. And so we're adding all these models to these sites and we're creating like, I don't know, maybe 100 new URLs a week. And the sites, like they get all this referral traffic because let's say you 3D scan in an apartment building and then you put that model into a database and then you send the URL, the final link off to your client so that when, you know, people are looking for an apartment and they click on that URL, all that traffic, referral traffic comes to your site. So we're getting like thousands and thousands of hits in referral traffic, but our domain authority sucks because we're getting nobody that's actually coming for content except for to look at the 3D models. So I have to figure out a way to raise domain authority, and I don't know any way except for just running all these link back campaigns or backlink campaigns so that you can get people to start linking to your site. I just don't feel like emailing 1,000 people saying, hey, can you link to our site? It seems kind of childish.
Well, they probably wouldn't, because if I see something that I think is worth linking, guess what? I'll link it up. I think the people that think that you can beg for links are sadly mistaken.
Yeah, a lot of companies will pay, like require you to pay per link. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to pay for you to link to my site or vice versa. Like, just, I don't know. I just want to go back to the days when we weren't all playing this stupid Google game.
Like, yeah, but if you pay them, you're actually buying links, and that's a no-no.
Yeah.
Which means they're on the radar. So when you do business with them, you're now on the radar too.
Right. So, and then I thought, oh, I have all these awesome models of places that have Wikipedia articles. So I'm going to go through Wikipedia and start putting it in the referral links, and got nixed for that because the people on Wikipedia are kind of jerks.
I can tell you
Kinda?
They are.
They're kind.
They're kind of a bunch of assholes.
That's a mafia.
We use data from Wikipedia in it was basically a search engine for real estate, and most of the state information that we got was off of Wikipedia. So they contacted me and said, some of that looks like it's coming from our thing. And I said, yeah, you're used as a reference. And they said, well, we deserve a link. And I said, no, I'll give you a citation, though, telling where I got stuff from, but I'm not giving you a link. That's idiotic on my part. Right. I'm not going to do it because it's not a direct thing where I just paraphrased what they had there.
Yeah.
Because I'm smart enough to know making it exactly the same as Wikipedia is a waste of a page.
Well, that's it. You just put source : Wikipedia.
That's what I did.
See you around, boys.
They weren't too happy about it.
That's too bad, because I always thought Jimmy Wales, like, he started Wiki Tribune now, the news site that's anyone can contribute. It's like journalism for wiki writers, basically. And
that'll end well.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks.
Going real well.
All right, folks. Well, 2 o'clock, we're going to shut down the live portion. We'll still be here in the green room because I know Kevin's got to get going here at 2 o'clock. So we're not saying why.
That's 2 o'clock my time. 2 o'clock my time is 2 o'clock my time is 3 o'clock your time.
Oh, well, fuck it. Let's keep talking.
Just saying. No, yeah. No, I haven't appointed.
It's all right, though. We'll still get hop into the green room again, folks.
Later, Steve.
Anybody watching anywhere, the green room links are still out there in Facebook on the event page if you want to come in and hear the real dirt. All right, folks. Have yourselves a great week. See you, Steve. Steve's out. Bye.
Bye, Steve.
All right, guys. See you next week.